Hi everybody, and welcome to Hard Ass Reviews. And today it is another departure from movies. Today everybody, I'm going to talk about software for the blind and partially sighted. Now my daily calling is in introducing the blind and partially sighted to high street software. Now there are countless types of software for the blind out there for you to use on your PCs, computers and so on. The main three are Supernova, Guide and Jaws. See, it just completely escaped me. So that's Guide, Jaws and Supernova. But I deal in high street software because I've always had a problem with Jaws, Supernova and Guide is they are outrageously expensive, and unemployment amongst the blind and partially sighted is around 80 to 90%. And that's whether you're in Europe or the UK or America. I believe it's a similar percentage in America. So I deal in high street software. Now the three main software providers in high street mobile technology are Android, Apple and Microsoft. Android's software package is known as TalkBack, Apple's software package is known as VoiceOver, and Microsoft's package is Ease of Access. Now it's 6 and 2 3s on what you take, certainly between Android or Apple, because they've been producing software for the blind and partially sighted the longest. Though in the main, I would say probably the larger percentage, and I mean immensely larger percentage, I don't have the exact figures, but I would say probably 90% of blind and partially sighted people will use an Apple device. Now the main reason for that is it doesn't matter what Apple device you buy. So you can buy an iPhone, an iPad, an iPad mini or an iPod touch, and the software is pre-installed, VoiceOver is pre-installed in the device, and it doesn't matter which of those devices you buy, each device will work exactly the same. There are no diversions between, either device. So if you buy an iPod touch 4th generation, it will work the same as an iPod Touch 5th generation, which will work the same as an iPhone 5S or an iPhone 6S. So in that respect, Apple have stolen a march over Android. Android makes some of the most powerful phones in the world. Now today I just watched a review on YouTube about the OnePlus 3. Now the OnePlus line of phones are they used to be, you could only get them due to subscription over the internet. It was like an exclusive brand of Android phone. But now I think you can get them. I don't know who supplies them. I think they're mainly supplied in America. Don't quote me on that. So the OnePlus 3, so you've got the OnePlus 1, OnePlus 2, OnePlus 3. Now OnePlus 3 is supposed to be like clipping the wings of all the flagship phones. So the two main flagship phones at the moment is the HTC 10 and the Samsung Galaxy S7. Now the OnePlus 3 is supposed to clip the wings of those phones, bringing flagship specs to what they would call a budget phone, but it'll still cost you the best end of £400. Now this phone, to give you an idea, has a hexacore processor. A hexacore processor means that it runs 6 processors, so like 6 engines running the phone. So maybe 2 twin engines will work, and then they are backed up by a quad-core processor which is 4 other processors. Now that is powered by, and I had to take a breath whilst listening to this, is powered by 6 gigabytes of RAM. 6 gigabytes of RAM. Most PCs that I've ever used, certainly most laptops I've ever used, don't have 6 gigabytes of RAM. But that gives you an idea of how powerful, these phones are, Android phones are. Yet they are still behind in the main on software for the blind and partially sighted. TalkBack is a very, very good operating system, it is, and it covers most ground, like Explore by Touch, where you run your finger over the screen, and as you run your finger, TalkBack will tell you what's beneath your finger, so you'll be able to navigate the icons, move pages up and down, left to right, and navigate yourself in and out of apps. But the only function, well, one of the functions, main functions, that Android still don't provide is a continuous screen reader. And that is absolutely, I think it's outrageous in 2016 that Apple provide in their VoiceOver software package a continuous screen reader, which is basically you highlight what you wish it to read and then you do a vertical stroke with 2 fingers together, and that will continuously read your screen. And it will continuously read until you place a finger upon the screen in order to stop it reading. Now TalkBack don't have that. Now Lumia, which are Microsoft's brand of phones, their ease of access has a screen reader, which their screen reader is, you put 3 fingers together, you highlight what you wish it to read, you put 3 fingers together and you push up from the bottom, so it's like an upward push up the screen, like you're pushing a sash window up. So you rest 3 fingers on the screen together and then you do an upwards push with 3 fingers, and that continuously reads the screen. So if Lumia can have a continuous screen reader, and hardly anybody buys Lumias, and that's around the world, that's even when I listen to YouTube videos, usually Lumias get a bad rap because of the lack of the apps in their app store mainly. But their software, their ease of access software, is actually quite good. Quite good. I would say it is better than TalkBack of Android. But VoiceOver is the premier, because VoiceOver covers everything, and you can copy and paste, and you can navigate absolutely everything. I'm trying to think of everything. You can video edit. Now that's something that I've never managed to do on an Android or a Lumia handset, is edit my videos. But I can edit my videos on an iOS device. At the moment I'm using an iPhone 4S, which is in front of me, which is 64 gigabyte iPhone 4S, and I can edit my videos. So in the main, blind and partially sighted users will use that software. They will buy Apple. Yet there are still thousands of blind and partially sighted users who haven't been told about this software or haven't been introduced to it in the correct way, which is appalling in my opinion. So as I said at the beginning of the video, my daily calling, apart from reviewing films, is in mentoring and introducing people, blind and partially sighted users, to high street software, whether it be Android, whether it be Microsoft or iOS, Apple. Now, I don't want to say which one is the best. Certainly Apple is the most competent at the moment, and really Apple, it's as if Apple have consulted blind people when devising the software. It's like they've sat with blind people and consulted with them on how best to tailor their software, for blind and partially sighted use. I'm not sure about Android, and I'm surprised at Android, because Android are Google, and Google are an American company, and they tend to be up on the latest tech, and they're very, very user-friendly. Their devices are very user-friendly. But they seem to be concentrating more on power than accessibility, which is a shame really, because the problem with Android is there are so many different providers of Android, whereas with Apple it's all governed by the one company. Apple is Apple. You will not come across any other company using Apple software. Therefore all Apple devices are the same. Android is just a software package. Therefore HTC differ from Samsung, who differ from Huawei, who differ from OnePlus 3. So all the different companies differ in Android, so you could buy an Android phone where the accessibility software for the blind and partially sighted is absolutely awful and you'll get no joy at all, or you could buy a Samsung. Samsung tend to be the best of the Android market in blind and partially sighted software, but even Samsung aren't a patch on Apple. So I don't know what you use. I thought I wanted to do a video just to talk for 5 to 10 minutes about this. Tell me what you use. Tell me what you're using. I use iOS devices in the main. I do have Android devices, but I use iOS devices in the main because I can edit my videos and I can copy and paste. And I did copy and paste on an Android device about 2 or 3 days ago and managed to do that. But tell me what you think. Tell me what you use. If you're blind or partially sighted, there are also functions on those devices for other disabilities, like if you have problems with your motor skills, or if you're hearing impaired. So tell me what phone you use. Tell me what the accessibility is like on it, and how well you cope with it, you know, during the day, during your daily life or daily use, whether it's in work or socially. So thanks for joining me, and I'll speak to you all again on the next one. So leave your comments below. I've got to mention that. Leave your comments below, put a like in the like box, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all soon. This is Geoff Cummings. You'll take very good care of yourselves. Bye for now.